Hi and welcome everyone, Friar Tuck. This is this week's hobo tutorial. Sorry, I'm having to do a re-record. I may sound a little upset because, as you see, Sam is tied to the hammock because she can't stop wandering off. This is something that the longer that we stay in this area, the more she tends to wander off. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about something else. So the title of this video is eating out, but I'm going to be talking about something else that I kind of got to go a little bit under the radar about. So I'm doing it that way. And so, sit down, grab your notebook, be prepared to take some notes because you're going to learn some interesting things if you've never been homeless or you don't understand how the drug scene works. Okay, because it is something, if you're going to be out here, whether you're a traveler or not, it's something you need to really understand. Okay, so let's first talk about having eating out, because that's the subject of this, and then I'm going to get into the other stuff. Okay, so the longer that you're out here, you learn different ways to make money so that you can actually be a little bit more comfortable. With whether you're, a traveler like me, and, going from city to city, all I wanted was like my cup of coffee, my donuts in the morning, the little $1.89 pack of Debbie donuts, a pack of cigarettes, and a bowl. That was like, as long as I had that, I was happy, and I made sure to keep it as cheap as possible, and so on and so forth. And so for, about $7 to $10 a day, I that's all the money I had to make. Okay. So, it just, you kind of have, you develop certain tastes, certain things that just kind of give you the wherewithal, the want and the need to kind of continue through the grind, because, you may be having a day where it just crap happens. And, because you had that cup of coffee and that cigarette and that bowl in the morning, you're like, I can deal with this shit. Because, after a while, you're just, if you don't have that, you're just going to be kind of short with people. And so one of the things that I like to do is when I have a decent payday or anything else like that, I always like to go out and eat. Out here, especially when you're going from city to city, some places they have abundant food, some places they're skimpy on food, sometimes they only feed a couple times a day to a couple times a week. You never really know, so you're going to go through times where you don't really get to eat. And so food becomes something like, something that is very, quality food is something that becomes more valuable to you, because you know what it's like to have meager and almost nothing. And so therefore, like for me, I like to go to places that when I'm done with it, I'm going to feel full, and I don't have to eat dinner that night because I'm that full. And, going to Checkers, and doing their $5 meal, because I really don't get to eat a lot to begin with. The protein from the chicken nuggets, and it's real chicken, not pressed chicken. And then the hamburger, that's just there for taste. It's like a 16th of a pound. So, but that's still more protein. So that's going to make me feel full. And so I'm probably getting about 50 grams of protein, plus I'm getting, a soda, and I'm getting fries, which is my starches and stuff like that. And so, although it may seem like it's unhealthy, out here, that's considered a healthy meal, because when you're housed up, you're not using your body the way that it was meant to out in nature. Whereas when you're out here, you're putting so many stressors on your body. Those things, having those things are valuable to sustaining yourself, whether it be giving your body a little bit of fat to live off of when you go through meager times, or whether it be just kind of helping your muscles out, because there is potassium in potatoes, and so that's really good. And plus the starches will help with with certain things, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the Irish lived off it for quite some time with their famine. Okay, so I like to go to Chinese, because Chinese food gives you a lot, and it's very inexpensive. And if you can go to a Chinese buffet, even though they're like $20, I would definitely do it. Just go with water if you can't afford anything else. But, something like that to where you could sit there and eat an abundance of food, eat quality food. Kind of, it's a morale booster. Okay. And if you're doing that, let's say once a week, just to, reward yourself for keeping in the grind and doing the right thing, well, then, that gives you something to look forward to, and you start ingraining habits, and it also influences your decision making, because you might go, oh, well, I can spend my money on this, which is something that you really, it's like you could take it or leave it, which is what you would normally do, versus taking the moment and say, no, I want to go have my Chinese buffet. I like Checkers. I like, I think those are the only two big ones that I've had. Usually anywhere that has like a $5 meal or a $5 box. Taco Bell, just it's good, but it doesn't stick with you. It's gone in like 2 hours. So I mean, I love the bean burritos, but I have to get like 5 of them just to make it through to the next day if I really wanted something that was like hearty and filling. Okay, so let's talk about this other thing. Okay, when you're out here, you got to understand that the underground market, especially within the homeless community, works a lot different than the traditional black market, where you're paying money for things that you can't get on the open market. Okay, you're paying money. You're not just paying money in for things that you can't get in the open market, but you're also paying money for things that you can get cheaper on the open market through the homeless market. We'll just call it the homeless market. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so some of these guys, what they'll do is they will go and they will they'll get, like, let's say an 8-ball. Okay, so for stoners that's an eighth. Okay, and they'll sit there, and then some guy will come by because they'll smell it, and they'll be like, hey, you want to trade, you want to do this, you want to do that. And so he's like, okay, well, like, so the guy next door, he ended up getting like a lantern. Okay, a really nice Coleman metal lantern, with the glass, everything. It's not that fake crap. He ended up getting that for just sitting back and smoking a blunt with these guys, because it's kind of like they put a line on top of some tobacco and then they roll it up in a blunt, kind of like stoners do with blunts. But anyways, and so you go through, and that's how you can acquire things and do certain trades, whether or not you actually do it. And this is something that's been offered to me, and I'm not ready to do it just yet, but because I'm not a home bum, and with the things that I do out in the public, if I ever have that on me, it's just going to make things a lot worse. And so I don't want to be caught with my pants down. But for those of you that aren't content creators, that aren't in the public, and that, if you do something really stupid, you could lose all your, lose everything, especially with cancel culture. So it's just, you're able to do trades and stuff like that. And the other thing is so my benefactor, she's asked me to keep her name quiet, and I have, I think, I hope, I don't remember. But she, so the shirt was supposed to be extra large. Well, I wear a large shirt. Okay. And the extra large fit like a small. And then the pants, the medium, they were supposed to be like 38. Well, apparently they're more like a 36, because I've lost enough weight that I'm down to a 38. And I mean, I'd have to really lose about another 10 or 15 pounds to be able to fit into those, because they almost fit, but not right. Okay, so but it is what it is. And so she ends up sending me a gift card so that I could go to Walmart and get what I need to get, because hopefully, they had the clothes there. And she told me to either give away or sell the stuff. So I'm like, okay, You gave me carte blanche. So the other people that you could go to are the dealers. Okay, so these dealers are the ones that, I mean, that's how they accumulate stuff, is people go and they steal it, and so and they'll bring it to them, and if some of these guys, they want to take it and they want to resell it, or they just needed that part, or whatever, they have their own ways of turning that merchandise later on, because most, if not all, of the dealers have some sort of gang affiliation in one way or another. Okay, whether it be having permission and blessing because they're paying a tax, or because they're actually part of the controlling organization. Okay, and within the homeless community is something you're just gonna have to be thoughtful of. Okay, so those guys, so I took it to them. So I raised $30 over a couple of days after paying for Sam's vaccination. And so, I was going to go get myself a 20 anyways. And so I went and I bought it, and I brought it up to them for trade. And I says, look, I got this pants and these shirts, and they pulled them out. They looked at them. They saw that it was brand new, still in the packaging, which means I get prime price, because, the newer it is, the more money you're going to get, because especially with them being able to go to places like Walmart and just rob them blind. It's ending up out here. It's ending up in their pockets in some form or fashion. Okay, and it's getting resold out on either the open market or the black market, whichever. Okay, so so I ended up getting, for, I think it was like maybe $50 for the clothes. You got to realize you're getting less in value than you would from a pawn shop. Okay, and a pawn shop's not going to take it. They're like, well, we don't want these clothes. We're not going to sell them. A resale place, they're not going to give you anything for them. And most of those places, they won't even deal with you unless you have a receipt. And so, what do? You take it to these guys, and you're going to get pennies on the dollar. So I got $10 worth of herb on top of what I'd already spent for those two things. Now, that was, if I would have asked for cash, I probably would have gotten $7-8. But because I asked for it in trade, they spent the $7-8, but I got what, instead of taking a profit, they just, okay, yeah, here you go. You see, it's math and it's money. You got to realize that money makes things move around here, and those who have the ability, or that have access to, or that actually have quality things, these guys want, because they can either use it themselves, or they can do other things with it. Okay, so this is something that you should be prepared for. One of the things that was suggested to me is to be able to take it, so because the Molly is so abundant out here, on top of fentanyl, but Molly is what most people want. I could, if I could have traded those shirts for maybe $20 worth of Molly, or maybe $15 worth of Molly, maybe even $10 worth of Molly, and then I could have taken that and traded somebody $20 worth of weed for that $10 worth of Molly. Okay, and so therefore you're stuck, and you're going within the community and you're trading. But then the thing is this is how you get caught up in doing things where you might end up in jail. And this is why I'm very careful on how I talk about this stuff. But it's something that you need to be thoughtful of and aware of, that if you end up in this situation, whether through SHTF or whatever reason you end up dealing with the homeless community, that's kind of what happens with certain things. When I want to get rid of stuff, that's who I go to, because I know that they'll give me. But the thing is, I'm cycling through my gear. I'm either just earning it on my own, or doing something to be able to have my weed if I want my weed. But for the most part, I'm not going out there and fiending like these white dopers do. They want their next hoorah, and that's on them. That's their responsibility. It's not mine. I have no say in it. Those guys are going to be there as long as we have a broken system, because the homeless are what was ground out of the system, the natural attrition, kind of like when you grind meat, you're going to lose a certain percentage of it. Well, that's the homeless. Okay. And so, I mean, you got to expect it in this situation. That's why I don't think homelessness will ever be fixed. You can make them housed, but it doesn't mean you take the homeless out of them, because there's certain characteristics of those that have truly given up that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next hobo tutorial.